Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. We about to be reacting to how Drake was caught lying and how the Clipse is making history. Before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all pick y'all up a copy of Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, written by me, Big Kish. The link will be in the description for purchase. Appreciate everybody supporting the book, supporting the channel. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. And I want to ask y'all, man, for those that's at work right now and it's real early, how you doing, man? How are you doing? I'm good. I hope you good. I hope I can get you through the day with some entertainment by Big Kish Reacts, man. You know what I'm saying? Gotta check your mental. Gotta make sure you there with me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know, like calling y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, when it comes to Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and the Clipse, well, now, if you are ready to see how everyone is showing who they are more than ever, as Drake is gossiping and lying bad, and all while at the same time, Clipse just brought hip-hop all the way to the Vatican, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and we got a lot to cover today, so let's just get into all of it. And now, if you are ready to see Drake fall more and hip-hop as a whole just climb up, well, once again, leave a like because it really does help out the channel, and we are going to need them as currently, it's been an interesting time in hip-hop, and all because of how the biggest players in the game have been moving, and it's not because of any new music that has dropped necessarily, but it's because of the side quest that everybody is seemingly on, and well, for Drake, we need to get into the new snippet that dropped from the Karen Ice Spice Man that he leaked out for everybody to hear, also that he could see if he would get made fun of for dropping again before actually putting this record out. And well, with Drake now showing us what some of the rapping is looking like.
Somebody said in the X collage the other day, it's the same tempo, the same thing we used to hearing. I don't think he knows how to switch it up, being as though that he stole his flows, his ideas from other people.
From the Iceman beat at the end of episode 2, we have heard what the Cupcakes are calling Drake's red button, and now with this is the friggin' red button. The only place you would find this thing is in the dumpster at Staples, because really, laughing at this thing is too easy, because Drake is not dissing rappers when he is rapping now, because of course he is too scared and never wants anything close to another Not Like Us to happen, but he is dissing people who can't rap in none other than basketball players, and who he is going after here, well, is somebody who he already showed he had some problems with in none other than DeMar DeRozan, and he must have been watching First Take or something before recording this, because really, with Drake trying to act all cool and call DeRozan out for not being a winner and getting sent home in the playoffs, I mean, really, when you see how cringe the wordplay is here and see how he tries to tie in all of these different references, which
I want to do to the king. I want to do to the king. When you were a part of the team, we planned Mexico trips in the spring. Must have been dealing with spur of the moment, because why didn't you Rain King? Chat GPT wrote that, man.
Which really just feel like they were written in the Stranger Things writing room, if you know what I mean. Well, honestly, this is all just embarrassing, and while it does seem like Drake stepped up his game here a little and did get some more or better writers to try and get his hip-hop card back while running from the genre, but no. This isn't going to work, and dissing an NBA player with elementary rhyme generator bars is really only going to make him look worse, because while they're better than usual, they are still mid. And really, if
do they have an AI that just generate rhymes that's only specifically for rhymes? I didn't know that. I thought Drake was using Chat GPT.
Drake is showing us that the main targets of the Iceman album are going to be people who literally can't rap, which is the equivalent to going at a civilian if you wanted to put that into real beef terms. I mean, this is just pathetic when you know that if you went against somebody that rapped, you probably wouldn't just lose, but you would end up suing. And so honestly, at this point, addressing DeMar DeRozan after all of this time, it doesn't even seem cool or seem like it's needed. And anybody that's hyping this up is a clout-chasing loser that really does just miss the most superficial era of rap and nothing about what actually the genre should stand for, because they're...
He said whoever hyping this up is just a loser. The people that are hyping this up is people that is not of the culture. That's these streamers that we don't even know by their first name. And that's these guys we don't even... Like, they not hip-hop.
There really is nothing to this other than Drake running away from one grift to another while he is trying to actually dodge, of course, the real lyrical confrontation that can mess him up forever. And now another quick observation, which some people think they heard within this snippet where Drake is dissing DeMar DeRozan like he wants to be 2018 LeBron in the playoffs or something, is that Drake is seemingly sneak dissing Kendrick Lamar here, but again and of course, not in a way that is direct enough for Kendrick to come back out and ruin his rap career one more time, but in a way where he is actually mimicking one of the flows that Kendrick broke into on Euphoria. And with this, to be honest, I don't know if this is really that intentional or not, but Drake maybe has just been so obsessed with trying to fathom the moments that he lost literally everything. Maybe he does listen to that track a lot, and maybe even subconsciously, he is now copying Kendrick Lamar and just becoming so infatuated with him that now Kendrick is his biggest influence without even knowing it, because as Drake is making a literal concept album about him in Iceman with this whole Pinocchio thing, I'm not even joking here, we can't discount that, but I don't think Drake wants to go any further with Kendrick, at least right now musically than that, and this is why he is writing elementary sounding spur references.
What could Drake say to Kendrick or say about Kendrick? What could he say? He got small feet? Okay. What he gonna say? He's short? That angle, it didn't work. That's it. Like, what could he see? He can't say nothing.
Is to diss NBA players who are almost retired instead of focusing on his own craft and sport, and that's it. And now, while Drake may have some other disses on this track for all we know when the full thing drops, all we know now is that DeMar DeRozan is getting it in a way that he used to try and go after Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar with, but of course he is scared of them now. But speaking of Kendrick Lamar, well, when it comes to MCs that would ruin Drake if they ever went in a lyrical back and forth once again, they didn't get dissed on this snippet recently, but what Drake just did to them was diss them in a way where he was going direct to DVD. And now what I mean by this, well, all comes down to this new documentary he has done on Magic City and the weird crash out he had in an interview on it, which now let's break this down. What did release was the documentary on Magic City, which has been worked on for a while, which Drake did help executive produce seemingly alongside.
I knew he had. I knew it. I knew it. They trying to keep the party alive. I stated this before. That's Drake's main goal, is to keep the party alive. Put himself with these Atlanta people such as Jermaine Dupri. You know, that's where the strip club culture is at. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're trying to keep the party alive. But we must watch the party die.
Other big names like Jermaine Dupri, and with this, well, I gotta tell you, if you thought that Drake was gonna make this a chance to actually speak about Magic City in full and just keep it there, you would be so wrong, because what the cupcake ended up doing, well, now was aside from telling embarrassing stories like how he spent Christmas Eve there with the girls who worked there instead of being with his family, which, you know what? I don't even know why you would share this at this time where you were trying to stand up and show that you are an upright character, because some jokes just write themselves.
I can't even fathom Kendrick Lamar spending his whatever holidays he celebrate. I can't imagine him spending that with strippers. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine. You can't imagine it. Like Whitney, I'll be home. Whitney, I'll be home next week. I'm with these strippers. I can't imagine that, bro. Can't imagine that, bro.
And all this is doing is making Kendrick Lamar look more right about every single thing that he was saying on the diss tracks that you ran around and cried about to say that he lied with. But let's not get lost in these embarrassing Drake stories, because really what he did here and what's sticking out more than anything else is how he is using this chance to be in front of the cameras, and where he was supposed to be talking about the club, the dancers, and the music that he made inspired by it, or just living in a culture where he was stuck in this seemingly. Well, to not do any of that and to just rant about his haters and honestly just lie on so many of his rivals over the course of his career. And within this, when you see what Drake is talking about here and where he is bringing the conversation to, although this was supposed to just be about Magic City and nothing else about his crazy life, when you see Drake on camera and then you also realize that if this is what they put out, This must have been the best footage they had of Lawbury for this, because why would they include an entire tangent where he goes off about rap beef and starts sneak dissing everybody if they had him actually talking more about the place and the location that everybody else in the doc was here to speak on? I mean, overall, there's just no other way around it. This is embarrassing, and with Lawbury, I do imagine that with Jermaine Dupri and the people in charge. We do know that this was in a time where the beef recently did end, but
they probably asked him, like, so you partnered up with us so you can spill your emotions and how you feel about losing the battle? That's why you partnered up with us, so you can express that? Because he was expressing himself on the Bobby Althoff interview as well. Everywhere he go, he's expressing, he's crying how he felt about the battle. But he may not be pinpointing it, but he's crying in these interviews.
But the impact of it was just starting to come to fruition. And so with this, the entire crew knew what Drake was going through, because Not Like Us was everywhere. And I guess after the rant he had, they didn't even want to call him out for this or ask him any other questions, because they probably thought that he would turn on them and storm out and not agree to be a part of the doc, just like he was going off and turning on so many other people at the time for literally anything. And so I say all of this to now show you what Drake ended up saying here, which looks so bad when you consider what this was supposed to be for, and how he was literally just lying on everybody. And so with the statement Drake said, he is currently getting dragged for this. I care so little about another artist that somebody might respect not liking my music. I don't give a... Maybe that's why I've been here for so long. And now while Drake said this in front of the little doc camera, and he did the thing where he tries to get all aggressive, and he must have thought that he was all tough for this and felt like he was sneaking.
And he was trying to get aggressive with Aiden Ross. Like, why you trying to get aggressive with the camera? Why are you trying to fight with the camera, boy?
Dissing all the rappers that he still delusionally thinks he is in a beef with, where it's anywhere near close. I mean, just get out of here. Because when we remember, first off, that when T-Pain said he didn't like Drake's music recently, he went off on him about that. And let's just go through some other times when Joe Budden criticized Drake for never growing up and having an embarrassingly weird performance with embarrassingly weird lyrics on For All of the Dogs. He wrote more than he ever has in his entire career in an essay directly to Joe that he posted for everybody to see. Or let's not forget when Mos Def said he made Target music and then Drake disrespected somebody as respected in music as him. Or, well, let's just remember all the times Kendrick called out his character and his music, and we saw how Drake ended up taking that. I mean, overall, when you just see Drake find a way to make another rant, and there's not even a point to it, but he just ends up looking like more of a liar than ever, of course, for the low he has reached, he had to do this. He had to use this doc, which had nothing to do with rap beef or being the weird loser, Lawbury, cupcake-loving Karen that he has turned into, and just make it into something where he is not just subbing other people and trying to intimidate all of his rivals, which we know who is at the top of this list. But really, with Drake throwing in the phrase that someone might respect when talking about artists to try and push across the idea that he does not care who criticizes him and to just show how arrogant he really is. This just brings us back to the cycle of Drake delusion that keeps him taking L's, which really does just show that for Drake, it doesn't matter who is criticizing him, but no matter what, if it's Metro Boomin or Kendrick Lamar or Ice JJ Fish and Lil Pump, or it's Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, or Andrea Bocelli, to Drake, he is so arrogant and such a grown man, baby, that he'll just treat them all the same way and throw out all of their criticisms equally without ever taking anything they have to say into the slightest bit of consideration. And really for Drake, while it may not make sense to him in musical terms, maybe if we look at it in sports, if you had somebody like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant or a Tom Brady or a Tim Duncan criticizing your game, you may want to take that into consideration and you may want to think about why they are calling you out. But you know, maybe if a Thon Maker or a Tony Snell says you're trash, then you can throw it out. But for Drake to constantly try and use what he is saying here to dismiss legends and disrespect them the way he has, I mean, again, it is showing why he is in the place he is at. But really, when we break this down, just to put this in this doc, and ultimately now to invite this type of discourse to happen with the disses you made here, really for Drake, as you are sitting here crying about other rappers in a documentary that you are already making, and it honestly does just show the type of person you are, because what other 40-year-old man that is at the level that you are trying to be at would honestly do something like this? And again, when you look at where everybody in hip hop is who's at the highest level. It really does speak volumes, and we are going to get more into that as we talk about the clips. But really, for Drake, when you just do this and you have already been proven to be lying about this very statement right after it dropped, because despite saying it and acting all tough, from Kendrick to any other respected artist, we have always seen Drake take criticism in the worst way, which is why with him over any other rapper pretty much ever in the history of hip hop, we have seen him beef with so many not just artists, but legends and gatekeepers that most people would never even disrespect, or again, if they were called out by them, they would end up doing something like J. Cole, which is take the criticism that Nas did and then make a song like Let Nas Down and then actually get Nas's respect. I mean, that's it. I don't know how else to break this down. There is no other way to look at what we are seeing here other than to see Drake as a classless loser who has no respect for the craft and culture of what he does. And really, in general, he just has no respect for anything he is doing, period, now. Because to go from making a doc about Magic City and talking about something so isolated,
he ain't even got no respect for himself. Because if he did, he would stay off these interviews, stay off these cameras speaking about the beef. You know what I'm saying?
From your own delusions, to then just make it about you and start this whole rant and tangent here once again. I mean, I just have to ask, when do we stop, and when does Drake ever self-reflect and question what he is even trying to achieve from all of this other than just looking like a man baby? But you know what? Drake and his constant crash out loving self, he can have this, because once again, as it seems like everything in hip-hop is happening right now for a reason and at the right time, and everybody's words and choices are showing that they have consequences, and within this, well, the more Drake lies on others, we are finding out that he is the real Pinocchio as things are crumbling down bad on him. Well, on the other side of things, for the MCs who got past him and are now...
Bruh, that performance at the Vatican was, chef's kiss, man. They had the musicians, everything laid out. Oh, man, that was amazing, bro.
Now just focusing on making music and projecting their art to every corner of the world that wants to listen. Something very beautiful is happening, as while Drake is showing that his favorite place to be is a club where he can sit and talk about dancers and hide out from his family while ranting about rappers that he acts like he does not care about but really does. Well, on the other side, for Pusha T and Malice, they just made hip-hop, music, media, and art history as something so amazing happened right on September 13th, which with what I am talking about, all centers around the first ever musical concert at the Vatican. And with it,
bro, they playing live instruments. Do you know how important that is, bro? When it come down to the music, got John Legend up there playing the piano. They playing orchestras and all of that shit.
in a lineup of amazing artists who all did a great job. Push and Malice did something that showed on a global stage with all different names and people watching. How powerful and transcendent of an art form that hip-hop can really be, as alongside John Legend and the Voices of Fire, who I have to say they had a huge role in this show, and after seeing how they perform as a choir and how they work with Pharrell especially, they are absolutely incredible. Well, with this entire group of artists, they performed the intro track on Let God Sort 'Em Out in, of course, The Birds Don't Sing, in a place that when you understand who the Clipse are, and of course there is a huge family aspect and dynamic to this as they are brothers, and of course this song is dedicated to their parents who they lost, and then adding on top of all of that when you know who Malice is and even who his father was, as they were both heavily involved in the church. I mean, I'm really ecstatic for both Push and Malice, but especially Malice, because for them this has to be the biggest and most special thing that they could have ever brought their music and voice to. And really, in this time where we are in, where certain people have tried to make hip-hop look bad, and you know what, even with vultures in the media and even with people who want hip-hop to be portrayed a certain way, they constantly try to act like the genre is bad and that there is so much negativity within it and that it only ever does bad for the world. I mean, now to see Push and Malice literally stand out in the Vatican and rap some of the most beautiful and powerful...
Bruh, with Drake trying to destroy Pusha T for so long because he came out with that exposing him for blackface and all of that, Drake hates to see this. Drake hates to see them at the Vatican. Bro, the Clipse is winning right now. Drake can't stand this. Do you know how long Drake was stopping Pusha T behind the scenes? like getting people to hold his records back and all of that stuff. He's upset at all of this. He's upset that they brought themselves out of their deals. He's upset at all of this, bro.
Things that the art form of rap music and really just media in general has had to offer in so long. This spoke volumes, and it took every single narrative that has ever been out there and has tried to diminish and speak negatively on hip-hop and showed it to be a sheer and utter lie, as really what Push and Malice did was just remind the world of not just how amazing and beautiful hip-hop can be, but really just how artists at the top of their craft can truly create. Because really, if you sit and see what just went down and you are still going to try and discredit Clipse and act like they have not been a positive for the art form or culture of rap as a whole, well, I got a guess for you first off, which is that Drake's probably your favorite artist, and I got news for you, which is that you guys are the problem in hip-hop. Because honestly, in a very different and very fitting to them more spiritual way, just like Kendrick Lamar has continued to push and expand the barriers of what hip-hop can be in terms of the business of it all, and show how high a rapper can climb in the industry, all the way to the point where right now in music in 2025, Kendrick Lamar is right up there with Taylor Swift as the most valuable people in the entire space. While on the other side for rap, Clipse is pushing what the language and spirit of hip-hop can do at a level that can transcend things bigger than most rappers have ever even dreamed of. And for Push and Malice, and also John Legend, Pharrell Williams, who executive produced this groundbreaking performance alongside Andrea Bocelli, and the voices of Fire, who really were incredible here. Really check this thing out if you love music. I mean, this is just such a great moment for hip-hop and music as a whole. And just to see Pharrell put rap in a place where it was just as pivotal to the first ever concert at the Vatican as the songs that Andrea Bocelli was singing, what we have to take away from this and what this really means for rap, at the bare minimum, means that we have the right people leading this thing forward and just making the genre not a bigger thing than ever, but a bigger and more impactful language that can really make a positive.
You never thought that hip-hop would take it this far. Shout out to Rob Markman, man. But yeah, bro, it goes to show you that the right people to speak up for hip-hop is getting in position. They're in position, and they're pushing this thing where it needs to go.
Impact on all stages of the globe and to all eyes of the world, because seriously, years ago, I don't think people would ever believe that Pusha T and Malice would be able to grace a stage with Andrea Bocelli at the Vatican, but they have done it, and it could not have been more beautiful. And so with this, I just have to say, when you really take in moments like these for what they are and understand the weight of what's going into it, well, when you forget about guys like Drake and Young Thug, it has never been a better time to be a hip-hop fan if you do drown out all of the losers and chaos, because really, with everything that we have seen from people like Clipse, Kendrick, and Pharrell, and all of the other people who are being the gatekeepers that we have needed, I mean, their music and art is taking us to places that we could have never imagined. And again, when we look at the optics of where hip-hop has been at and where the faces of the genre, for better and for worse, have taken us and are taking us right now, again, as Drake is sitting in Magic City, dodging his family and ranting and yelling about other rappers and just showing more and more why he was sent to the Cosmics. And all jokes aside, Clipse literally just played the intro song from the rap album of the year at the Vatican, and to juxtapose Drake running away from his family, they did a tribute to their parents as brothers at the Vatican. I mean, do you realize the symbolism and beauty of that? I mean, overall, you cannot try to sit here and possibly convince me that the grifting side of rap is in the lead anymore, because with the reality just being this versus this, well, Clipse told us, and I think with where we are at, if you don't believe that words are powerful and that they are always going to come back to prove the truth, I don't know what to tell you. But again, for everybody listening and for the state of hip-hop right now, we really do just have to sit here now and let God sort everything out. Ooh. And now with all of that said, let me...
You really have to sit here and let God sort everything out. And that's what he's doing. He's separating people that just want the money aspect, because you got people that's in hip hop want their story to be out there to help uplift the younger generation as well, because they going through some stuff, y'all. And if you can't give these guys a word of encouragement, then what you here for? You know what I mean? We must keep this thing going. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Fantastic Hip Hop cooking this marvelous video up today. You know I'm going to leave a link in the description. Thank y'all for liking and subscribing. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.